Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping our newscast tonight. As Carnival moves forward in full steam, residents find themselves in a variety of Carnival events, from Queen and Princess pageants to cultural nights. But for many, it's when the village opens that it really starts to feel like Carnival. News 2's April Night has highlights from the village opening and what you'll find at this year's Carnival Village.
Village-goers, young and old, flock to Fort Christian for the much-awaited opening of the Carnival Village. This year, it's called the Royal Palm, and on Friday, it opened for business. The 2014 Village honorees were Percy Taylor and Dee Dee Sharp Dawson, two giants who've contributed to Carnival culture for decades.
This is really a pleasure for me more than anything else. And I'd like to thank the Carnival Committee for the recognition of two tremendously fine gentlemen.
The village is a place for culture, but also for family, with entire clans proudly representing in matching attires. Food stalls line the village perimeter, but Rum and Rhythm, with its Royal Palm theme, took home the trophy as Best Village Booth.
Knowing some of the history of the two honorees and how they deal with the club and the partying, I came up with a concept of putting the club and the bus, called both of them had it together.
If food is your thing, it's everywhere aplenty. The aroma of classics like Johnny Cake, saltfish, and salmon balls wafting all around.
I tried Johnny Cake, fried chicken, and I got 2 drinks for free.
The games and rides were popular, of course, for kids and kids at heart. And those who just want to chill, grab their chairs and listen to live music most of the night. Food, fun, and a whole lot of music. If you haven't hit the Carnival Village yet, come drop by and you'll see why this carnival is the biggest fete ever seen. Reporting from the Carnival Village, I'm April Night for News 2.
And congratulations to all the booth owners. We'll have a list of the winners in Tuesday night's newscast. Well, here's your village entertainment lineup for tonight. It's Dennis the Menace and Ecstasy HD, Poison, Pompa, Mr. Killer, and Skinny Fabulous, all performing tonight. Tomorrow, it's International Showcase, and it's featuring Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights, Miriam Cruz of Santo Domingo, Zenglen of Haiti, and Sherwin Winchester of Trinidad. Now, Saturday night, true Calypso lovers were out as the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee held the Calypso Review, and International Tent, it paid tribute to Dr. Slinger, Mighty Sparrow Francisco, the undisputed Calypso King of the world. Many have been true fans, and Sparrow has always been a fan of the Virgin Islands. Performing that night also were BVI's Tino, Ranger, the reigning Calypso King of Anguilla, Waggy, King Spade, De Soldier, Richie Bontin, Calypso Rose, Singing Francine from Trinidad, and Hunter of Dominica, Ajamo, and the Mighty Swallow. Now, Wadabli also paid tribute in song by performing 3 of Sparrow's tunes. Spectators took to the waterfront. It's an opportunity to watch some of the activities as they mingled and lined up there. Some of the sports included stand-up paddleboarding, jet ski racing, and boat racing. Food tents were also set up along the apron. A fun day was had by all, even for those who were not paying attention to the races, because there was live music as well. Be sure to tune in. Later on in the newscast for News 2 Sports, Monica has all the results from the boat races. Now, the sweet sounds of steel pan music was heard round the field. The steel pan jamboree brought out the talented youngsters representing various schools. Many danced and moved to the beat as they enjoyed the unique sounds from chrome, tenors, bass, guitar pans, and the iron. The steel pan, also known as steel drum, is a percussion instrument made from a 55-gallon drum. Players strum together in harmony from the usual school bands to produce the cultural music at this year's Steel Band Jamboree. Well, there's a lot more events coming up to mark on your calendar, such as the Preteen Tramp. That's happening Monday evening, 6 p.m. from the Rothschild Francis Market Square all the way to the village. Then the seniors come out to play. Their action begins at 8 p.m., also from the Market Square to the village. Wednesday, April 30th, it's the long-awaited cultural fair, Charles and Joe Leonard's Flamboyant Garden, honoring the brothers. That's from 8 a.m. Thursday, it's Rosa Time or Juve from 12:30 a.m. That's when warm-up begins, and then the action is scheduled to begin at 4 a.m. on Veterans Drive. Now, Friday, the Children's Parade, and Saturday, the Adults Parade, all beginning at 10 a.m. both days. Fireworks at 9 p.m. over the harbor. But then the action at the village continues with Calypso Spectacular, and that's going on until 3 a.m. Tune in to News 2 on Thursday, May 1st for our Carnival 2014 News Special. We'll look back at some of this year's events leading up to the grand finale. That's at 7 p.m. and midnight. On Friday, another special will preempt our newscast. Plus, don't forget live coverage of the Children's Parade on May 2nd and the Adults Parade on May 3rd. We are happy to announce also CBS TV2 will be streaming both the Children's and Adults Parades. The link to the website is posted right there on your screen. We've also posted a link on our News 2 Facebook page. Well, as you know, the VI Carnival festivities are in full swing, and over the weekend, several incidents occurred, resulting, unfortunately, in injuries and, in one particular case, death. The Virgin Islands Police Department is urging the community to tell them what you know. News 2's Shanika Robinson has the details on the crimes that occurred over the weekend.
A recent series of crimes occurred over the weekend on St. Thomas. On April 26, a police-involved shooting took place in the vicinity of Fort Christian. The victim was later identified as 31-year-old Clyde Norford. Preliminary investigation revealed officers received information that Norford was armed with a firearm. At some point during their interaction with Norford, a shot was discharged, resulting in his death on the scene, and a firearm was recovered.
We are finding it more common for individuals to be in possession of illegal firearms when they are confronted. Officers are being challenged, as we have seen in recent weeks. We as a community must stand firm against this kind of disrespect for law-abiding citizens and law enforcement officers.
Police on St. Thomas are also investigating a shooting that occurred on St. Thomas waterfront in the vicinity of the Emile Griffith Park on Veterans Drive on April 27th. A 33-year-old victim was shot in his left thigh, a 23-year-old victim was shot in his right leg, and a 34-year-old male victim was shot in his left knee. The victims were all taken to Snyder Regional Medical Center for treatment.
On the scene on Con Princess Gata, police recovered several spent shell casings, a cell phone, a firearm, and a bulletproof vest. Several vehicles in the immediate area were damaged by gunshots. Police were informed by 911 that 3 victims were taken to the hospital by private vehicle. Police are urging anyone who knows anything about this shooting or any other violent incident to call detectives.
To ensure that you remain anonymous, you can contact Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-8477 or simply visit them online at www.crimestoppersusvi.org. Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
Again, do not hesitate to contact your nearest police station or Crime Stoppers USVI in order to assist with solving these crimes and incidents. Now, sadly, another shooting to report. Police on St. Thomas are investigating the circumstances surrounding a gunshot victim who was transported to police about 12:15 p.m. today, April 28th. A 21-year-old man reported that he was shot in his left leg while in the area of Building 1 in the Oswald Harris Court Housing Community. The victim said he heard about 5 shots being fired and he felt the gunshot. He said he went between 2 vehicles in the area and called a family member on his cell phone. He was taken by private vehicle to the Schneider Regional Medical Center for treatment. The victim told police he did not see anyone in the area and does not know why anyone would want to shoot him. Again, if you have any information, please give police a call. Turning our attention overseas, the U.S. and its European allies accuse Russia of doing nothing to fulfill its obligation to ease the standoff in eastern Ukraine and are rolling out new sanctions to try and convince Russia to reverse course. Craig Boswell reports from the White House.
The Obama administration is hitting Russia with another round of targeted penalties for provoking unrest in Ukraine.
These sanctions represent the next stage in a calibrated effort to change Russia's behavior.
The latest measures are against 7 Russian officials and 17 companies the U.S. says are part of President Vladimir Putin's inner circle. But President Obama says these choices aren't personal.
The goal is to change his calculus with respect to how the current actions that he's engaging in Ukraine could have an adverse impact on the Russian economy.
The White House is also trying to keep U.S.-made defense products out of the hands of the Russian military.
We will also focus on some areas of high-tech defense exports to Russia that we don't think are appropriate to be exporting in this kind of climate.
But some lawmakers say this still doesn't go far enough.
These sanctions on individuals are not having it's not creating the kind of pain within Russia that will cause Putin to change his behavior.
The president says tougher sanctions are coming if Russia escalates the crisis. Craig Boswell for CBS News, the White House.
Keeping our eye on the economy, U.S. sanctions against Russia are starting to impact profits at some American companies. Visa and MasterCard warn that the sanctions are causing Russian banks to use other companies to process payments. Russian President Vladimir Putin says the country will create its own payment processing system. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow up 87, NASDAQ down 1, S&P also up at 6. Coming up on News 2, other news of the day, the government is saying to the teachers union, cease and desist any plans to stage a job action over school calendar. We'll have the latest coming up next. Well, the administration sent a stern warning to the teachers union Monday to rethink any plans to organize a job action this week over the school calendar. The government said they received details about a possible sick-out, but union leaders have no idea what that's about. News' Erica Parsons has more.
The administration put the teachers union on notice Friday that any plans for a sick-out this week over the school calendar would not be tolerated, but union leaders are baffled.
I don't know what credible information the chief negotiator got because my members are at work right now as we speak.
I'm asking you then to refer to the 2013-2014 school calendar, whereby school-based personnel are on spring break and therefore schools are closed and my members are out.
According to a press statement issued from Government House, the government's chief labor negotiator received information that teachers may be planning sick-outs this week, but public school students are on spring break, so only Central High students are making up missed classes this week.
The AFT members are out there and they're working diligently. There's a lot being tasked of my members. While we are very concerned about the education of our students, my members have rights as well, and it is not fair that they're being forced to work 5 days when clearly they came into work to assist in the preparation of the reopening. They were exposed to, some health and safety issues there at the complex. Their lives were endangered and threatened, as well as the students.
Any job action by union members violates the collective bargaining agreement, and government leaders warn that teachers will be disciplined, and that could include being fired, and the union could face legal action whether they sanctioned it or not.
It is egregious what is happening, and it needs redress because I could see them working 3 days, but not the full 5 days. But there are mechanisms in place, and clearly the AFT will be dealing with that. We're following protocol as we always do.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, both union leaders want to focus on getting back to the table to address the upcoming school calendar. News 2 will have more on that in Tuesday's newscast. Good news, Juan Louis Hospital's ER got a big donation Monday. Members of the EMS staff and the health department presented hospital officials with a pediatric crash cart. It was made possible by EMS Grant for Children.
It warms my heart to actually see this initiative taking place. I was smiling from the moment I saw the crash cart, knowing the implication of having a crash cart specific to weight-based medication offerings for the pediatric population.
In this economy that we have, there's shortage on funds, and we recognize that we are part of the emergency room. We are a family of the emergency room. And we want to make sure that we can assist the emergency room to be able to continue and to provide that high quality of service that they do.
This is a state-of-the-art equipment. It will definitely advance the performance of the emergency room relative to the care of children in terms of making it an organized resuscitation or response.
Great donation there. Now some more good news. It's an exciting time for the University of the Virgin Islands. On Friday, the university announced that Chiranjeev Kathuria, owner of New Generation Power, made a generous donation of $30 million toward the development of the territory's first medical school.
This medical school is based on the notion of a private-public partnership, meaning that we really need the support of the local government in order for this to occur.
We hope that what we're doing here will help improve the quality of lives of all the people of the Virgin Islands. We are very close with the legislators and the government's commitment, but we're going to need everyone's help to make it a reality.
Be sure to stick around and count on 2 to keep you updated. NEWS2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.